Here comes all our friends. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll now. We're gonna get started. If you could put yourself on mute if you haven't as of yet, please do so. And as we go through, if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to type them into the chat. And at the end, I'll open it up for discussion and we'll go through and answer any questions. So today we're covering introduction to mediumship and channeling. And I am pumped because as we go on, the format for our classes are changing a bit, but we still have the introductions in the beginning. So if this is your first time being here with us, please, we invite you, say your name, spiritual background, why today. Spiritual background can mean anything. Like I was born Christian, now I'm Buddhist, or spirituality, I don't know. I just started today. Or I am the guru master of all things spiritual. I even got a spiritual degree. It says spiritualitis. Oh, wait a minute. That would be a disease, probably, if it says spiritualitis. But whatever way you want to describe yourself, you can. And then why did you show up today? So any newbies that want to hop in your first time here to introduce yourself, feel free.
Sure, I'll go.
Cool, Ryan.
My name's Ryan from Philadelphia. I started to awaken spiritually last year. I just started hearing voices in my head, and they introduced themselves as my spirit guardian, and they are 4 different spirits, and they're helping to develop my intuitive abilities. And I started I saw this group on Meetup, and it looked interesting, and so here I am. Thank you.
Well, we are so glad that you decided to check us out, Ryan. Please feel at home. Welcome.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that's new?
Hello. Thanks for saying that. My name is Westbrook. I started hearing voices in my head actually about 5 years ago. It's been exhausting, but it's not always bad. So I just related to you. I think that's interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome. Westbrook, because it says pumpkin. I want to make sure I remember Westbrook and don't call you Pumpkin, which, by the way, is the nickname that my mama calls me. Westbrook is Pumpkin. You're welcome as well, Westbrook. And this is a welcoming group in general. If you're going through some things that you want to talk about, feel free. If you have questions, there's probably always someone else who has the same question as you have. So welcome. And I think the things that we're going to talk about today and the things that normally would drive people crazy or make them think that they are crazy, you find out it's actually a spiritual blessing, a spiritual gift, a talent, something that can be used, molded in order for you to be your higher self. So let's hop in and take a look at the flow of what we're going to go over today. Okay. So we're going to talk about our group process to start off with. And then after that, trying to be punctual, I started my stop clock. So after that, we're going to talk about our group goals, why we come together, what's the ultimate goal, what are we trying to do? And then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this thing, medium versus channel versus psychic. Now, it's not like there's going to be a throwdown. There is no showdown. There is no hoedown. The only reason why I put it that way is what is the difference between. So no matter what you're going through, what you experience, you're able to tap in and figure out, what am I? Where's my highest skill? Where's my highest talent? Or what do I think I would like to explore? And then from there, we're going to go over some techniques. We're going to do an exercise all together that I'm going to talk you through in order to tap in to whatever you are, to give you a little a little taste of what it's like to be a medium, a psychic, a channeler. And then we're going to break off into pairs. And in pairs, I'm going to have an exercise for you to try and practice out your mediumship, your ability to channel, your ability to let go and just flow through. And then after that, we'll come back and we'll discuss and see how it went. And if there's any other questions that you may have, we'll take that to the next level too. Cool. So this is what's up with our process. And I'm pretty excited because we listed out this process in January, stating that May it would come alive, and we're right on schedule. So 25 minutes, it's me giving out information, and then we'll have workshops around the small groups where 10 minutes in your pairs, and then 10 minutes for us to come back and to discuss how that went in your pairs. And then if there's any Q&A around our new certification program, which is being launched in July. So classes free. That's what we're doing now. We get together for an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. It used to be 2.5 hours, but I chopped it down. Look at Ryan. Ryan's like, you wouldn't have had me for 2.5 hours. People stayed too, Ryan. They did. And they weren't my relatives. So we have classes, they're free. And now the classes, the formats are 1 hour. Then we have courses, and that's paid. That's like a deeper dive into the topics that we talk about in the classes. And the courses give you a taste of the certification program, the Light Worker Certification Program, which we're starting this year in July. I'm majorly pumped about it. And we go over all things spiritual in order to help someone to be the best medium, the best psychic, to be the best human being that they can be. Whether you want to just explore the unlimited possibilities, or if you want to do it as a profession, and how do you craft that? We take you through an organized, systematic approach. So that's what's up with the process. Now, let's jump in and let's talk about this thing. So medium versus channel versus psychic. It's all about knowing your craft, knowing who and what you are. And the reason why I put this slide together is so that we can define things, so that we can speak the same language. Because pop culture, different cultures and countries in general can call these things different names. So for the purpose of this class, I'm going to go through and explain what I mean when you hear these words, so that we can all stay together as we take this journey. So we're going to talk about mediumship. We're going to talk about being a channel. What is it? Okay. When is the best time to be this way? Or what's the best benefits or best situations that require a channel? And also a psychic. What's the difference? Did you see the movie Ghost? Well, then they refer to Whoopi Goldberg as being a psychic, when really she was a medium. And all of this together leads to being a light worker. So a light worker can be a medium, a light worker can be a channel, a light worker can be a psychic. A light worker is basically anyone who is trying to raise the vibrations of the planet, of the universe, of the galaxy, of everything. Anyone is using their spiritual gifts and talents in order to have an impact. Well, that's a light worker. And a light worker is someone who is going to go through and be trained properly. So you can have someone who's a medium that really hasn't been trained properly to be a light worker, to be the best that they can be, to be their highest self. And the same thing for a channel and also a psychic. So let's dive in individually. But all of this falls under the term light worker. Okay. Know your craft. The first one, a medium. So a medium is like a translator, because they are going to connect into source and then translate it back to you based on what they saw. I had a reading, and that's what they call it too, a reading. I had a reading yesterday with a gentleman who is a medium, and it can happen virtually. He's actually in Phoenix, Arizona, but he did a reading for me, and he would see things, and based on what he saw, he would tell me his impressions of it. So a medium is almost like a translator. They see something, they feel something, they smell something, okay? And then they will turn around and give that information back to you. So if you're working with someone who is a medium, and I'm going to talk about when you go and visit them too. If you're working with someone who's a medium, it's always important that you ask them, what did they see? Because they may see the color red and they think mad, but red to you means calm. It means peacefulness. So being able to ask them what they see, if they're not trained on telling you what they see, that's important. Okay? And even for you, as we're talking about how can you grow as a medium, your ability to talk out what you see or talk out what you're told. So if Westbrook is hearing spirits talk to him, okay, well, then he needs to be able to take it piece by piece and translate it. And if it's at a certain point where you're like, shut up, stop the noise, talk to the hand, I don't want to hear anymore, then Westbrook needs to be able to be empowered to have that ability to tell the spirits when to back out, because it's a choice. It's a choice on whether or not you want to be a medium. It's a choice on whether or not you want to be a channel or you want to be a psychic. The cool part about being on this planet is free will. It's all about free will. So either putting up a shield that protects you, or if you're like an empath and you're really getting everybody's feelings, yeah, all of those things are possible. So a medium, think of that as a translator. They hear or see something, they are connecting into source, some source. Normally people, beings, it could be aliens, it could be guardian angels, it can be dead people. I see dead people, absolutely. It could be that too. But a medium is connecting in with them. They are saying stuff, showing stuff, making them feel stuff. Like a medium may say, oh, my heart, I feel my heart's beating fast. Do you know somebody in spirit who died of a heart attack? So they literally are feeling it, and then they're translating it. You're like, no, I don't know anyone that died of a heart attack, but my heart hurts right now. So a medium is going through that experience. Okay, next one, a channeler, someone who channels. I want you to think of the radio when you think of someone who channels. So if you're in your car and you turn the radio station, why I do it like that? That's like an old school radio, I guess. I mean, right now you're going to push, you're probably going to push a button. That shows how old I am. If you're in the car, the radio, when you tune to a station, I did it again, I don't care. When you tune to a station, then whatever signal's coming through, you're hearing exactly what they're saying. There's no ifs, there's no ands, there's no buts, there's no translation. Boom, it just is what it is. And that's what a channel does. A channel tunes in to source and allows source to speak through them. Same thing for writing. The lady who did Harry Potter, a lot of that stuff, she channeled it. It was information that came in, she just wrote it out. So channels are cool, and we should probably talk about the best time for all of these and when it happens, but I'll go through everything first. So a channel, you're directly spitting out stuff. I saw a man who channeled John, like Jesus's best friend, John. And it was wild. Like the dude's face changed and his voice changed and everything about him changed. And Chris was at the Monroe Institute. I think it might have been the time that you were there with me. I don't know. But anyway, this guy had channeled John and was talking about the first time that he saw and met Jesus. But this isn't the other guy, like paraphrasing. This is his body was basically loaned out to some other being in order to talk straight through him. So when you see those seances on TV, and it's always some old white lady. I don't know why an old white lady has to be the king seance person. You got an old white lady, you got a crystal ball, and she's like, oh, I feel the spirit of Harry here. And then she just starts talking in Harry's voice and the way Harry would be. She's a channel, and Harry is using her body in order to get that message out. And that may be a skill you have too. Sometimes you may be hearing voices or spirits are talking to you, and it may be uncomfortable for you because they're trying to coach you to see you're actually a channel. Okay. Right now, maybe you're a medium this acting like you Stevie Wonder. I don't see nothing, I don't hear nothing. But they may be trying to push you like that, Rosie. They may be trying to push you to accepting that you are a channel and to allow them to come through you. But that's a whole nother story. We need to talk about that. You don't just be letting everybody just take over your body and stuff like that. That's kind of crazy. So we need some prerequisite or something. Okay. And the last one, psychic, okay, intuitive. These people are searching and using anything beyond their six senses. Okay. So pretty much everybody, if you get a feeling, go left instead of right, or you think of somebody and the next thing you know, that person calls you up on the phone. We all had those experiences like that. These are psychic experiences. So the psychics tap into a source and then they explain what they were presented with. And all of us are going to have an opportunity to do all three of these things today in this session. I'm going to take you through doing all three of those things right now. So let's jump in and do it. Okay. And by the way, just as a recap, if you have any questions whatsoever about these, feel free to put it in the chat. And Von Dude is going to be keeping an eye out and collecting them. And when we get to the discussion part, we'll be efficient and flow right through there. But let me throw this one thing out before we jump in. The medium. The best time to be a medium is really when, let's say you have a loved one that passed away and you're so emotional that you need someone to translate to them and interact with you in order to help with that conversation, because it may be just too overwhelming for you. So that's one situation. As a channel, I find that this is really good when there's lost information, when it's ancient information. Like I'm going through and reading a book now where this guy channeled Mary Magdalene. It's called the Magdalene Manuscripts. And is going through and explaining the relationship she had with Jesus and what his mother Mary was like. I mean, that's something that you're definitely not going to find in the Bible. And that type of information is cool, but it's unprovable, right? Because if it was provable, we would already know. So when you have information that's being channeled, like Ra is one example, or Conversations with God, that book, that's another example. I mean, there's tons of them out there. I suggest you take a look at the techniques that are being taught and find out, do the techniques work? You know, if you want to look at the history and it's mostly like a soap opera, really. I don't think that's the highest and greatest good, and it's hard to be proved. But if you look at the techniques or the suggestions that are coming through, it'll let you know whether or not this is helpful, which I think is at the heart of a light worker. A light worker is able to receive information and give out information that is going to be helpful and not just flat and just staying there. Okay. So here we go. Exercise. When you look at a medium, that's about connecting. When you're looking at a channel, that person is tuning into something, right? And when you're looking at a psychic, that person is tapping into something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in a light trance. We'll get you in a light trance. And then from that light trance, we're going to state the intent. And you just, in your mind, just have to repeat back whatever I say. State the intent, which the intent is to connect to source, and then to be able to identify which area is your spiritual talent to experience these different modalities and ways of connecting. And then from there, we'll plug in, almost like spiritual internet. You plug into all that is. And then after we finish and you have that experience, you just send gratitude back. Okay. If you happen to hear me say source or infinite intelligence or God, you can use whatever you want to, whatever comes to you in your mind. Okay. So this exercise is to give you a taste of being a medium, to being a channel, or of being psychic. And we're just going to do it real short and quick, and then have it so that you can break off into pairs and to decipher the exercises that we have after that. So here we go. So you can either keep your eyes open or closed, but begin to breathe in as deep as you can. Hold for a second. Then exhale and hold for a second. And repeat. Just continue to inhale. Being mindful of your breath. Hold, exhale. And just relax. Do it again. And when you exhale, feel all the stress leaving your body. Now just breathe normally. And in your mind, we are going to set the intention for this exercise. And you can just repeat in your mind to yourself after me. The intention of this meditative exercise is to tap into the source and to have a deep spiritual experience. The intention of this meditative exercise is to tap into source and have a deep spiritual experience. Okay. Now, on your next breath, I want you to inhale from your heart. Imagine you're inhaling from your heart. And when you exhale, imagine a light goes from your heart up through your throat, up through your third eye, and out the top of your head. Inhale through your heart. Exhale. Sending light straight up, plugging into infinite source. Now, I am going to ask you something. And in your mind, identify the first answer that comes to you. What is the color that comes to your mind when you think of your higher self? Which color comes to mind when you think of your higher self? Now, notice where that answer came from. Did it come from all over your body? Did the answer come from a certain part of your head? Continue to breathe. And now, what sound does your soul make? What sound does your soul make? Can you hear it? Can you see it? Can you feel it? Your soul's sound. Now, whichever sound came to mind, whenever your intuition is correct, ask your soul to play that sound. Now, clear everything from your mind as you inhale, peace. And as you exhale, feel everything clearing away. Now, with this blank slate, I want you to focus on your feelings. What does peace feel like? Peace. Allow your body right now to feel peace. Inhale peace. Exhale peace. Now, allow that feeling to slip away and prepare for the next feeling to come. Clarity. Clarity. What does clarity feel like? Allow your mind, your body, your soul to feel clarity. Do you notice any smells, sounds, shapes? Clarity. Now, allow clarity to slip away and allow your feelings to be neutral. As it came, just let it go. As you prepare for the next feeling, understanding. What does it feel like to understand? Quickly identify, where did that feeling begin? Understanding. Did it start in your head, your heart, your shoulder, your face? When you heard understanding, where did it start? Now, let go of the feeling. Clear your mind. And inhale the cool color blue. Imagine you are inhaling blue. Hold and exhale. Cool color red. Inhale blue. Exhale red. Now, on your next inhale, imagine you are inhaling through every pore in your body at the same time. And you exhale through every pore in your body. Now, send out gratitude to the universe, to your soul, infinite intelligence, in whatever way feels natural and best for you. You may say it. You may shoot a beam of color out from your spirit. You may make a divine noise in your mind that you send in all directions. There's limitless ways to show gratitude. Now, take a deep inhale and exhale through your mouth. Repeat, deep inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And open your eyes and come back to the group. Shift your position in your chair too as well to help bring you fully back. With your eyes open, you can imagine from your heart that a beam of light goes downward into Mother Earth, 3 feet to ground you, and then just have it spread. Just feel that groundedness. Okay. So the exercise that we went through, there's a quote from my spiritual mentor. His name is John White. And he says that exercises like this, there's no thinking, there's only being. So as you're searching for the answer, that's the wrong way to go. Just let it come to you. First thing that comes to mind, that's the answer. Ryan Westbrook, you guys definitely haven't heard this before since it's your first day. but I tell the group that my spiritual abilities catapulted when I took improv comedy. I took improv business comedy. And I thought they were going to teach me techniques on how to be funny, when really they taught techniques on how not to think, to say the first thing that comes to your mind. And when I did that, something snapped. Like I felt like an energetic snap. It was like a dam that just went whoosh, and things just started to flow. And my spiritual psychic abilities, mediumship, channeling, all of that was raised to another level. So when we can take thinking out of it and just be, that's when we have the greatest experience. Okay. So what we did was we set our intent. Okay. Then we plugged into source. It could have been a person. It could have been a being. It could have been whatever you want to. It could have been an emotion that you plugged in. I want to plug into unconditional love and start there. It's endless what you decide you wanted to do. And then we explored certain things. Your mind. I want you to remember, what was the color that came to your mind of your spirit, of your soul? What sound did your soul make? And we went through the feelings of peace, of clarity. We started to implant something too, little cues to let you know when you're being a medium or when you're being a psychic that you're spot on giving the right information, because there was that sound, right? Okay. Now it's time for the exercise. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through this and see, after I go through, just let me know if you have any questions. And I am going to go from room to room. If you haven't seen this before on Zoom, we can pair people up and you can be in a separate room practicing this out. And if you have any questions, it's just like, it looks like this now, except for just be you and one other person. You can type notes or raise your hand and say, I need help. And I'll be able to zoom into your room and kind of guide you. But I'm going to go through this step by step. So each person has 10 minutes. And within that 10 minutes, one person is going to do a spiritual reading of some sort with the other person. Okay. And then you switch. And one person is the light worker. I just called it light worker because you could be serving as a medium, you could be as a channel, you could be as a psychic. And with the medium, what will happen is the medium, the one who's doing the reading on the other person, they're going to use the techniques we talked about, and you guys connect together to source. Okay. You connect together to source. You just close your eyes and the medium can say, right now we connect to source because we are one. And then at that point, the other person should think of 3 colors out of these 5: blue, green, yellow, orange, red. 3 colors out of these 5. And the medium should inhale and exhale and should ask, okay, which 3 colors did my partner choose? And the first answers that come to mind, that's what you say back to your partner. And you get feedback on how close. 0 out of 3, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3. Okay. And then the next one, you're playing the role of a channel, still the same light worker, right? And the channeler is going to tune into source, right? You connect back up if you disconnect it, and then speaks words which come to mind, unfiltered, about your partner. Okay. So you connect in and you can just remember, what's your intent? My intent is to give positive words and encouragement to Ryan. And then you just speak. There is no filter. Whatever comes out, just comes out. And the person on the other end, you have a choice. In one sentence, you can ask the channel what spiritual ability is a particular talent for me, and how can I improve upon that? And your partner, being connected to source, should be able to let that information flow out to you, right? So, Rozzy, you want to do exercise with me right now? You don't have to. My backup choice is going to be Ryan or Kevin or Shanaz.
I'm not ready right now. I'm sorry, I had it on mute.
No worries. Kevin, you want to jump in? We'll do this little exercise. Oh, I can't hear you. You're on mute.
I just got muted by.
Oh, your voice broke up. Can you hear us okay?
I hear you just fine.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to connect to source, and then I'm going to tell you the first thing that comes to mind. And then after that, in one sentence, ask me something about your natural talent or how to improve upon it. And I'm going to tell you what comes out. Okay. Are you with me? Here we go. So if you close your eyes with me, Kevin. Inhale, exhale. The intention behind this channel experience is to connect with source and provide information to Kevin of the highest and greatest good for Kevin. Kevin is talking more often than usual, and he is searching for something that he, in particular, but it's also more that his soul, his spirit is seeking, but consciously he's unaware of what that is. And what he is searching for is light, the ability to take on more light vibrations and distribute it throughout the world. Kevin, can you ask me a question?
How can I develop those abilities to a greater degree?
There's a relative that you can work through and work with, almost like a medium. It's a female, and your ability to pass on information to her is one of your soul contracts. Of course, you can do it on your own, but this particular young lady, you are meant to share information with, and she is going to be able to reach a greater number of people. In terms of you personally, touch your heart when you are meditating, when you try to do something spiritual. Touch your heart, and that physical sensation of you touching your heart will help you tap into your heart consciousness versus your brain. Love and gratitude, I send out a blue flame, thanking Spirit for the message. Okay. All right. So what I did there is attempted to get Kevin and I on the same page, connected together, stating the intent behind what we're going to do. And then it's tough. It was tough for me not to filter, and this is in front of everybody, but I just let it come out. The way I heard it in my head is what came out my mouth. No filter, no nothing. And at first I want to say, I'm hearing, and then I'm like, no, you just have to talk. So that was not me. I can't take ownership of those words. It's what I allowed to come in here and me articulating it out just like I heard it. And it was tough. I mean, tough in the sense of it's you against you. Because you was going to be like, oh, don't say that. And what if you're wrong? And well, paraphrase it this way. Or maybe what you heard, nope, you just got to let it go. Okay. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. And then while I was still connected, I asked Kevin to ask me a question. He could ask me anything he wanted to. In that moment, I had to say whatever came back. So he asked me, and what came back was not what I would have expected. I would expect, well, Kevin, this, you know, that finger in the heart thing, that sounds kind of cool. Why didn't that come out first? It didn't. What came out was somebody young, female. I don't know if Kevin has any family. We may be the only family Kevin has. I'm looking forward to my Christmas gift too, by the way, Kevin. But that's what came out of my mouth. So now what you do, you get feedback from your partner on, does any of that make sense? Tell me your thoughts. You guys talk through it from there. So Kevin, does any of that make sense?
Yes. Can you hear me okay? I always seems to break up on my audio.
Yep, we hear you.
Yeah, and at the very end, you said the blue flame, and I thought the color blue throughout several times, which I find fascinating. Young female relative. Well, I have a younger sister, and I have a daughter. So I don't know of the two which it may be, but my life. What to do with that? Where to go with that? I have maybe more questions than answers. But that I am searching for a way to, what was the term you used? I'm searching for a way to develop any of the talents I have, and it seemed like you male relative, and I can grow that way if I understood it properly. So interested. We'll have to work on it and see what comes.
Yeah. So two things. If anyone has questions, depending on how much time we have, you can always ask your partner to tap back in and give you additional information. The other thing is you can take what they gave you and you meditate on it and ask for infinite intelligence, source, spirits, your guardian angels to give you more advice. Because it's me, I can tell you more stuff. It felt more like a sister than a daughter when I was talking, but I was trying to just say what they were saying. It felt more like a sister vibration. So just be on the lookout. It's all about free will, right? But just be on the lookout if there's something you could share with your sister that normally you would not. Taking that leap of faith and see where that goes from there. The other thing is when you get in your head, like, it's a lot to think about. Remember, that's what they were saying. They were saying you need to touch your heart and just get into your heart consciousness. So it's not like, what do you think? It's about, hey, Shubham, it's about, what do you feel? I feel I should do, and whatever comes out your mouth, that's what you should do, okay? Whenever you want to know the answer, say, tell me which direction I should go in. And you're touching your heart. so that the answer comes from your heart versus your mind and rationally thinking through it. Because that's the part of you, which is a beautiful part, right? A fantastic intellect. But at the same time, there's another half of you that is, you can't put your hands on. That is emotions, it's the feelings. And you may want to start with which action shows the most unconditional love to myself. And then the first thought that comes to mind, that's it. You may want to use the emotion to be the bridge. Okay. So that's the channel. And then the last one, okay, is psychic. The psychic taps into the source and speaks directly about what comes to you. So I would take Ryan, do the connection going up. And then once I connect, I'll just tell him what I feel or what I think. And I'm talking to him like I'm talking to him right now. It could be if I see his aura, what color. It could be there's something on your mind around business and trying to be happy in your business, but at the same time giving back. Can that happen? And how long would you have to be in that situation before it's mutually great? Whatever comes out. And then the psychic, or the person who's getting the reading, in this case, the example is Ryan. Ryan would write down what I said, right? Because most people, as they're going through, they don't remember. It's almost like a dream. When you come out of it, the more you move and talk, what you said just kind of disappears if you're truly connected. And since you wrote it down, you just give them feedback. This is accurate, or this is, I don't understand this, or this makes sense, or just like how I said blue. And Kevin was like, well, that's what was coming through. So that shows that we were connected in a certain way. And the more you do it, like as we go through this deeper level courses, the more you do it, then you start doing it a little bit longer. And then from there, you're searching, and then you start figuring out and gaining the confidence that what you're saying works, that what you're saying is really tapping into something. And once you have that confidence, and just like what I was saying around improv comedy, just letting it flow, boom, that's when everything explodes. So if you can, my suggestion would be do a screenshot of this up here, because I'm going to break you into groups. And when I break you into groups, we are going to, you won't see this up, okay? Do a screenshot, and I'm going to break this up into 6 rooms because it's 12 people right now. And then after I do that, because I think Von, you may go into a particular room too, I may pull you out and redistribute so you can hop around. All right. Are there any, if you have any questions about doing this exercise after I break you up into your groups, just raise your hand, and I'm going to let you know when the time limit is up, and bring you guys all back to this main room, and we can answer any questions. Okay. All right, Rozzy, and I see your hands raised too. But just keep them raised, and then I'll go to whatever group you are and answer the questions so we can get everybody started. So the exercise, of course, is to switch. You being a medium, you being a channel, you being a psychic for your partner, and seeing how it goes. Okay. All right, I'm going to put you in the groups now. Yeah, Rozzy's going to be with Saul. Ryan is with Vondu. I'm going to move Vondu to room 1. And I'm going to move Vondu to room 5. And Westbrook, I'm going to move you to room 2. All right, we're good to go. You guys will slowly disappear to your rooms. And if you see something pops up in your screen, just click on it, and then you will go there. Oh, I need somebody for Brian. Move Brian to room 3. There you go.